up to the wire, and then some. Well, we got it done. Great batch of news coming your way. It'll be up shortly. End of the day, it's our evening newspaper for you. We've gone through that before. When I was a kid, I had a paper route, morning newspapers, and even as a little kid, I don't know how old I was, 7, 8, I used to look at the paper, and it was yesterday's news. I don't understand who would want to do that. So we used to have, commonly in these formerly United States, evening newspapers. 5 p.m., 6 p.m., and they'd have all the day's news in it. But for some reason, they started to disappear, and there are very few of them left. So I like the idea of an evening newspaper. That's why we upload the news at Rense.com for you at the end of the day. It's around 6 o'clock here, 9 o'clock Eastern, but we have 95% of it. It's all there. So you get the best, and you'll be able to read it all night tomorrow morning, and you'll still have the most current news. Okay, first up tonight, we're going to talk about something that culturally is new to America. Now, I think most of you know that I am a vegan, an organic vegan. I don't eat meat. We don't need to eat meat. We can do just fine, and if you have any questions about that, take a look at a horse in the field, or an elephant in the jungle, or a cow. What do they eat? They eat grass. Look at 1,500-pound magnificent physical specimens. Okay, we need protein. What kind of protein are we told we have to have? We're told we have to eat Big Macs, right? Fast food. We've got to eat beef. Do you know that in one hamburger there are over 500 different cows ground up in that meat? Minimum. How lucky do you feel, considering that I've read that 50%, I think it was 40% of all dairy cattle have bovine leukemia virus, BLV. Now, you can't tell me that doesn't come out in the milk. It does. Oh, they'll tell us, don't worry, we pasteurize it. Flash pasteurization takes care of it. Milk is liquid meat. You feel lucky? Do you understand that mad cow is in the beef and dairy industry in this country? It is also now in the deer industry in this country, talking about hunting and all that. Deer with mad cow disease, called CWD in deer, are in 26 states and counting. It's probably more than that. Also in moose and elk. Now, I don't have to tell you much about factory farming in terms of beef, pigs, right? Chickens. You, I think, understand the horrors of slaughterhouses. Now, we're talking about humane issues here, but beside that, the very idea that you're eating animals who do have disease, 70% of all the antibiotics created in America are fed to cattle to keep them healthy. And you get to eat that. That's why antibiotics don't work much anymore for many people. You're eating it all the time. You build up a resistance to it. So, how would you like a source of protein that is wonderfully complete, loaded with extras, that is not the result of factory farming horrors? Well, you've got that chance now, and it's called ParadoxProtein.com. It's protein from crickets. The crickets are raised from their hatching all the way to harvesting. They are clean. There are no chemicals, no horrors, nothing. This is pure protein. And something like 2/3 of the world eats insect protein all the time. They have no problem with it. None. We've got to learn how to do that. There was a story just the other day, I think from the UN, and they said, get ready for insect protein. For sure. It's absolutely a fabulous source of protein and nutrition that Americans will come to relish, even though they're constantly being brainwashed and programmed to buy factory-farmed, butchered meat and eat flesh of other animals. We don't need it. It's a business. All right, now, we have a sponsor. This sponsor is not just looking for advertising opportunities. They're looking to help all of you understand what's happening around you. That's why they support this program. And I'm very proud of our sponsors. ParadoxProtein.com. Take a look for the banner. You'll see it. It's got 3 crickets on it. Go there, look around. The cricket protein is wonderfully put in capsules. You just swallow it. No problem. Now, there's another company out there. I guess you could call it a competitor. I don't. It's also selling cricket protein product. That product is like chips, like barbecue potato chips, like Fritos chips, and they put cricket protein in it. Well, there's a problem with that, and I'll get it to that in a minute or two, but no thank you for a number of reasons. This company does not raise its own crickets. It cannot control the process by which the crickets are fed, ultimately harvested, and put into the powder that they put into the mix that they make their chips with. That's not good enough for me. With Paradox Protein, Michael and Allison, the owners, it's from the beginning to the actual harvest. They control everything, and you have nothing but the best. We'll get to this other issue in just a minute, because I went out looking and I bought a bag of these chips. And I came back and I read the label, and I was appalled. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Allison, are you there?
I am here, Jeff. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm sorry I talk so much, but I'm pretty emotional about this issue.
I know. I am too.
The idea of crickets was yours. Now, Michael is in the business of selling live crickets as food for pets.
Right.
Bearded dragons, various lizards, snakes, and so forth. Whose idea was it to go ahead and begin to process the protein, which is extraordinarily good, to make it available for human consumption? Was that yours?
I think it was a bit of both. We were getting a lot of phone calls from different people asking how we grew crickets and could we help them grow it for human consumption. And so the more people I helped and looked into the nutrition of the cricket, I was just flabbergasted at how good it is for you. So I think it was a bit of both. We both wanted to do it.
Well, very good. Now, the idea of putting this in capsule form, to me, is brilliant. Now, you also have, I guess you can get it in a drink form, a shake form, right?
Right. I do shakes as well as just the powder, if you wanted just to add a spoonful to a smoothie or bake with it or anything else.
Yeah, very good. Okay. Now, we have a number of special guests standing by, so let me go to this thing here. This is a bag of chips. It's the other company that's doing it. I'm not going to mention their name. It just says on the front of the bag, "Eat bugs," and there's a picture of a chip there. It says barbecue cricket chips, 20 grams of protein, but then it says earth-saving, gluten-free, non-GMO. All right. Now, I'm going to go to the back. I'm going to read the label real quick. I always read labels, and I hope most all of you are getting into that habit. Okay? It says on the front, non-GMO. First ingredient on the back, ground corn. 95% of corn is GMO corn. It doesn't say non-GMO corn on the bag. Stone ground corn. I'm willing to bet that it's GMO. I'm willing to bet on it. Otherwise, they'd advertise it. They're not stupid. Now I'll go down the list here. High oleic sunflower and or safflower oil, that's common. Cricket protein. Now the issue is, again, this company purchases it. It's cricket protein powder. It doesn't raise its own crickets like you guys do. Let me stop there just for a minute. You take a lot of care in how these crickets are raised. They're hatched, they're raised, they're harvested. This is not a joke with you people. You're not just in this for the novelty or the money. You're in it to really help people. Tell us how you take care of these crickets.
Well, we hatch them out in an organic peat moss, and they're in very clean conditions. We have about 10,000 crickets in a 6-foot brooder. That's what you call where you house the crickets. And it's a 6-week process to when you hear them chirping, which means the male is attracting a female, and then they'll lay in the soil, and then the process starts all over again. And so when that gets to the process of harvesting, we harvest them, we will freeze them, and it's like a lobster. It's a cold-blooded insect, so it will naturally go to sleep in cold conditions. And that's the most humane way, you could put them to sleep. So they don't have to march down into a slaughterhouse and go through all the stress. They just
so you just chill them into sleep, and then they're processed. That right, sounds very humane. Yeah. Right.
Naturally, they will do that if the temperatures drop. They have a great mechanism to go to sleep if they get too cold. Once they go to sleep, it gets too cold. Well, they obviously die because it just gets colder.
That's a very, very humane way to do it. Okay. Now, on with this label here. PEA, pea flour. Okay. Chia seeds. Okay. Yeast extract. Okay. Oops. Wait a minute. Let's rewind that. Yeast extract. Yeast extract is MSG.
Right.
Next, natural flavors. Nothing wrong with that, right? Whoops. Natural flavors are 99% of the time MSG. It makes you instantly want to eat more. Then you get into barbecue seasoning. Sugar, salt, tomato powder. Whoops. Yeast extract. That's the third dose of MSG. All right, I'm going to stop there. I don't want to waste any more time. The point is, read labels. Understand what you're eating, okay? There's no MSG. There's no GMO component in Paradox protein. Just
one ingredient.
Go. That's it. Go and read the site. Understand what you're getting for your body, for your health. And I honestly, I have heard already some pretty remarkable stories about this. So this is my bag of chips, and I'm going to put it in the trash can now. Now it's gone. I just get angry when I read labels and they lie. It's hidden. It's in there, and they will not say it. All right. Now, what do we have? We've got some guests standing here. What do you want to say to everyone, Allison, that I've missed? I've gone over a lot of things, but I just don't like the idea of people thinking they have to eat animal flesh to get protein. It really bothers me.
No, absolutely not. I mean, the cricket protein is just 100% ground crickets, which is actually 66 grams of protein per 100 gram, twice as much as beef, for the iron, for your B12, for everything. So, you're going to actually feel better. This is very easy to digest, unlike when you do eat meat, it takes a few days for you actually to digest it.
I might also add that when you eat meat, among other things, for those of you who are socially mobile, it gives you the worst breath in the world. It's rotting flesh. That's what it is. All right, so there's that. But meat takes days to get through your digestive tract, and it leaves behind any number of and I know some of you will buy organic beef, but you're missing the point. And a cell from a mammalian being, a mammal, a pig, a sheep, a cow, you cannot synthesize and utilize the protein and benefits in there until you have dealt with the waste products in the cell. Right? The cell is full of waste products. Any complex mammalian being has cells, and they're constantly dumping waste. And that goes into the liver, it goes through the kidneys, out in the urine, et cetera, et cetera. So you got a choice here. A big, easy choice. Stop poisoning your body with animal flesh. This is another wonderful way to get protein. Anything to add, Allison?
No, I mean, this will make you actually feel amazing. I do it every day, and I can't believe the benefits from it and how it makes you feel pretty instantly.
This is a good thing all the way around. Around the world, give me a little quick glimpse about people around the world.
Well, 8% of the world already eat insects. We're just trying to get it, into our society. And since actually 2014, a lot of companies have popped up selling insects in the US and Canada. And the persistent market research is saying it's already a $360 million industry, and cricket protein is here to stay.
Oh, you bet. You bet it is. These are not exotic worms and other insects, beetles and all that. They're crickets. Mm-mm. Very simple, very straightforward. Right. And having been in the pet store business years ago, in fact, I've owned 5 pet stores that I created myself, and I used to sell crickets all the time. And it's amazing how well reptiles do on crickets, for example. And there's no reason why people... And then I started looking into this, and I found out that 80% of the world uses insect protein. So we're just culturally way behind in that regard. And with the cost of I'll call it dirty beef, because I don't have a problem calling it dirty beef. It is dirty. It's dirt. Filth. I wouldn't do it. Now we've got another way. Clean, efficient, goes right to work in the body. What have you personally noticed about it, Allison? What's it done for you? Some people have migraines. It helps migraines. It certainly gives them energy. What are you hearing in terms of you and your experience? What's your mind telling you? What's it doing for you?
Well, I'm certainly more alert than I have been, and there was times, after work I would need a nap if it was for 20 minutes. I can't remember the last time I did that. And it doesn't give you a high, like coffee or, your monster drinks or anything like that. It's just, you just notice that you're not tired when you're normally tired, and you've got more energy. People drink those horrible energy drinks, which are... Right. My God, I wouldn't touch one of those. And people have died from them. Oh, yeah. Right. Yeah. More and more every day.
So, and if you look at the ingredients in there and agree to go ahead and consume it, I guess you kind of deserve what you want, or you think you want. I don't know. It's crazy. So it's interesting. You're more alert. I wonder. I could have some fun with this. It's probably science fiction, but crickets are pretty damn smart. They're very alert. I wonder if you're getting any of that.
Maybe.
Just a thought.
I don't know.
No?
I'm hopping around a lot more than I used to.
That's funny. That's funny. All right. We're going to pause just for a couple of minutes here and come back with Allison and ParadoxProtein.com. Go take a look at the banner and click on it. Think about it. Try a bottle. There's no taste. It's a capsule. Boom. You want to try the drink? You like smoothies? Get the powder. You can do that too. Smoothie mix also ready to make in an envelope form. So we've got several people to talk to after this. I'm curious to hear what they have to say about this. I think this is really the coming thing that our culture will learn to embrace, and there's nothing but benefit here, period. I just know what's in beef. I know what's in factory farmed animals, and I just won't even go near it. Not a chance. And I urge all of you to please stay away, especially fish. Anything from the Pacific Ocean, you know the drill. Don't touch it. Anything from the Gulf of Mexico, with all that Corexit that was sprayed in there after the big hurricane, that's still there. That's why some of the animals down there are showing up with tumors, birth defects, all kinds of problems. You don't want to eat that. So you've got to find your protein somewhere else. And those factory farmed fish, they dig a pit, put rubber down there and fill it with water and raise salmon and whatever. No way. You have no idea what they feed those fish. None. And I've read stories. I wouldn't want to touch one. Back in a minute. Hold on. Talking about how to make you healthier, it's very inexpensive. We have to get to the point. I really don't think our species can evolve until and unless we stop eating animal flesh. It's completely unnecessary. Totally unnecessary. For those of you who have a horse, for example, you feed your horse meat? I don't think so. Think about it. It's pretty amazing what the body can do with green vegetables. Now we've got protein from nature in a clean, ultra clean, unpolluted, unadulterated format, and that is really special. So we're introducing this to you and urging you to give it a try, and I think you'll be very happy. You've got to stop that. If you want to live an extra 10 or 15 years, stop the meat and dairy. There's a website out there called notmilk.com. I think there's another one, nomilk.com. Just go check that out. Milk, yogurt, cottage cheese, ice cream, cheese. The great American diet. Accent on die. You're not going to live as long. It's the simple truth. Now, Allison, welcome back. We have a very special guest in England, but we cannot get through to her for some reason, and I'm not quite sure why. Yeah, I sent you an email. It's just ringing and says all circuits are busy. All circuits are busy, over and over. So I've sent you a phone number. It's our toll-free number, and I'm not sure if she can call in from outside the U.S. on a toll-free number. But if you want to look at your email real quick and then send that over to her, maybe she can try it and see. But yeah, all circuits are busy. We cannot get through. That could be an intentional issue to cause us a little trouble. There are people out there who like to do that, so I don't know. But we have Linda on the line first up, so let's ask you to introduce Linda, and then we'll find out what Linda's story is all about. Tell us about Linda, Amy. Allison.
Linda's husband has been taking the pills for quite a while, and he suffers from psoriasis. And Linda was telling me they'd gone to the doctors, and even the doctor noticed a big difference.
That's a bad one, psoriasis.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah, but it looks so much better.
Well, interesting. All right, Linda, Can you hear me, Linda? Let's see if she's there.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, speak up a little bit louder, Linda, if you would.
Okay.
If you're on, are you on a speakerphone?
No, I'm on my cell phone.
Okay, just stay right up on it. We're fine. Allison is here. Say hi, Allison.
Hi, Linda.
Allison.
Thank you for being on.
Sure. We started taking the cricket pills, probably maybe even a year ago. I'm not exactly sure how long, but I noticed for myself the energy thing. Just, I had a lot more energy throughout the day and just felt better. My husband, within about probably 2 weeks of starting to take these pills, started noticing that the psoriasis, which is really bad on his, like from his elbow down his forearm and then on his knees, down his legs, probably within a 2-week period, he noticed a huge difference in it. I don't know if you're familiar with psoriasis, but you get like a skin buildup almost.
Oh, I've seen it. It's a terrible thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the cells are multiplying too fast, basically, is what's happening.
Right.
And that really slowed down, and he still had some of the redness, but it wasn't cracking, it wasn't sore, it was just a lot better. And like Allison mentioned, he had gone to the doctor for something else, and the doctor noticed. The doctor was like, wow, what do you do? Because they had wanted to put him on some psoriasis medication, and we said, absolutely not. There's just way too many side effects, and it's just not worth it.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. That's the bad stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
So the convenience.
Go ahead.
The convenience of the capsules. So you don't have to crawl around on your hands and knees with a hammer to get these crickets anymore.
No.
That was a little joke there. Anyway. So you just have a couple capsules with breakfast or whatever, and that's it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I would like to say that I have also tried the drinks, which I actually like them. They're very tasty. There's no weird kind of aftertaste or anything. They're really good. My husband he's not a smoothie person. He's not going to have one in the morning, so the capsules are perfect for him. He just takes like 2 in the morning, and he's good to go. So it's very convenient.
Oh, nice. Well, that's the American way. If it's in a capsule, it's okay. At least that's what most people think. Anything else to add? Go ahead, Linda.
Well,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, in all honesty, convenience is important. We're very busy. We do dog rescue. We've got 5 in the house. We're busy. And so convenience really is a factor. It is really a factor for us. So that's why
that was my point.
That Allison was that way. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a grab and go kind of a real boost. Is what it is.
Yeah, and I'm glad we started doing it. In fact, I got to get down there and get some more.
Very good.
Come on down.
Linda, thank you very much for being here and for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Sure. Thanks for having me on.
Okay. All righty. Good night.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
All right. Very good. Now, see, it's the idea of convenience that Americans that's part of our culture. We don't want to have to deal with anything. And I don't know. I have visions of these broiled steaks in my head, and it just makes me sick. People think, I've got that protein. No, you know why you feel good after? I'll tell you. You know why you feel good? I'm speaking rhetorically to everyone. Why people feel good after they've eaten a steak? It's very simple. The animals, when they're slaughtered, know they're about to die. Their adrenal glands dump everything into their bloodstream. The bloodstream carries it to the animal tissues. You end up eating adrenaline in that flesh, and you feel a jolt of adrenaline. That's why you feel good. So keep that in mind too. All right, we have Kathy up next. Yeah, it's true. Allison, introduce Kathy here. I'll bring her up now. Go ahead.
Okay, so Kathy suffers from migraines, And ever since she's been doing the capsules and drinks, she feels a lot better. And I'm going to let Kathy tell you her story.
We should also mention, for the sake of the feds, the FDA, etc., that we're not claiming cures for any disease process.
No.
We're only talking about nutrition, and that when you give the body proper nutrition, it responds to it. It's that simple.
Right.
Kathy, welcome to the program, Kathy.
Thank you. Well, my experience has been a significant decrease in severity and frequency of migraines. I've suffered from what's called a migraine variant headaches, for about 35 years. I'm
how in God's name have you survived? That's terrible.
It's been tough. I was literally would be having migraines at times that would go from 10, 12, 14 days. I'm in the medical profession. I'm board certified physician assistant, and so I was kind of skeptical. Started March 9th when my Regina Saxton, my registered dietitian, gave me a trial of both the protein shakes with the crickets and the pills. And that day I had not slept but about 3 hours and had a migraine probably of about an 8 pain level. And as I kept taking, what she was introducing, I was going down, decrease in pain, and decreased muscle tension, cervical pain. And like I said, I was kind of skeptical, being in the medical profession. And for me, I know that the cricket products are helping my migraines because I had to go off them for about 3 to 4 weeks for some allergy skin testing for shellfish. That can be a small cross reactivity. And so when I was off, my migraines increased. And
it came back.
And when I've restarted them, I do both the shakes and then the capsules. Again, I've seen significant decrease. If I get them or start in the morning with one and take the crickets, the pain goes markedly down, and the frequency too. I'm not having 10 to 14 days of
Kathy, this is you're describing what sounds like almost a miracle. I mean, I'm amazed.
Well, it's definitely been very, very helpful for me because, like I said, I've suffered from this for about 35 years. And
well, you're a hero in my book. That's just amazing. And you studied, and you're now.
That makes me just so happy to hear stories like this. This makes it all worthwhile for us doing this.
You bet.
Yeah.
You're a physician's assistant, a PA.
Yeah.
That's a very tough job. You're almost a doctor lowercase. All right. You do all the work that doctors do, and I know what you do. That's a lot, and to carry the burden
of as much.
No, not at all. But to carry a burden like you've been carrying, to get any relief, is extraordinary. You talk about some of these things being an 8-level pain. What would the cricket's ability to reduce that work to?
1, 2 to 3.
No kidding.
Yeah. The first day I tried them was March 9th, and it was like not only more cognition. I literally had a bad migraine and 3 hours of sleep, but after about 2 hours, felt 60% better, clearer thinking, and I get a history of cervical neck spasm, and that improved, and just was more emotionally relaxed. So I was kind of impressed. So I am staying
Well, this
on.
is for all of you listening. This is coming from essentially, in my view, a doctor. I'm not bestowing that title on her, but in my view, a good PA in many ways can be better than doctors because they're right down there face to face and they interact more than a lot of doctors tend to do now. So this is you're a very hard critic on things, and to hear this coming from you is amazing.
Well, I believe in, I've worked in psychiatry 13, 14 years, and my commitment is to try to treat the whole person, not just throw meds at their mental health condition, but to look at sleep, nutrition,
sure,
and, to be able to look at the whole packet, trying to, treat the person. And so, I hope to
very good.
be able to recommend the product continuously, in the future. So.
Well, we thank you very much for being on. I got two more people I've got to get in here.
Okay.
I'm really happy for you, Kathy. This is really nice to hear.
Thank you, Kathy. That's great
You're
news.
welcome, Allison.
Thank you for the support.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, Kathy.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. Now, next up, Christine. We have two more. We have Christina to bring on next. Tell us a little bit about Christina, then we'll bring her right up. Go ahead.
Christina was suffering a lot from constipation and things like that and energy. And she started taking the pills, and it's been life-changing for her.
The digestive
she's
issue...
So happy.
Yeah, the digestive issue alone, people, it depends on the diet, of course, but you cannot easily clean out a digestive tract and become regular. You're not regular, you don't feel good. That's just that simple.
Right.
Christina, are you there? Can you hear us?
Hey.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
We got you. Welcome.
We got you.
Okay.
All right, tell us your little story here. And the idea of getting some digestive relief is very important for tens of millions of Americans.
Oh, yes, definitely. And what originally started it was after my child, she's 4 now, but after having her, my bowel system was just all messed up. From carrying a child, what it does to your organs and stuff.
Sure.
I eat my vegetables, my salads, my, servings of peas and stuff, your breads and things that you need, and it wasn't right. I was down to drinking Metamucil, that mix, that powder.
Yes.
Drink a cup of it a day. I was drinking that, and it just wasn't really helping. I would go almost a week without having a bowel movement after my child.
Oh, God. Oh, terrible.
It was just miserable. Down to eating, it's the last result. You're trying to eat that chocolate X-Lax. Who knows what's in that stuff, but it would help me.
Yeah.
And then Miss Allison, she introduced me to this. I actually went and got my blood drawn before I started taking these pills, as far as to do like on the micronutrient level and to do and stuff. And I'm going to be taking another blood test at the end of this month. So I've been taking them since March 1st. So I'll be doing them for 6 months. And then to see where my nutrient levels as far as me taking the cricket pills.
Very good. How is it, Allison, that the cricket pills, capsules, can help clean out a digestive tract and bring regularity back to one's life?
Oh, they're amazing. The chitin of the cricket, that's the fiber. It contains a lot of fiber and actually prebiotics, which feed your probiotic in the gut area. I mean, this has changed my life in that area and Mike's. It's amazing. I used to take, what is the drink for constipation? Because I was like Christina, some weeks I wouldn't go for a week and you feel terrible.
Well, of course you do.
Never suffered since I took these.
Metamucil is one. You heard Allison say chitin. That's chitin. Chitin.
Mm-hmm.
And look it up, and you'll see. That has the ability to go through and dislodge and move compacted material out of your digestive tract.
Right.
This is you must have been beyond happy, Christina, with this.
Oh, yes, definitely. And there was actually one weekend with having children, you kind of get busy. I actually missed a Saturday and Sunday dose. So we're talking three pills at 10 and 3 pills at 2. So three. So we're talking about 12 pills in 2 days. Just because I missed those pills taken those 2 days, I couldn't go to the bathroom until that following weekend once I got back on track taking my pills.
Oh,
wow.
Man. What a scene.
She doesn't get now.
Never miss a dose. If I miss my 10 a.m. dosing, I take all 6 of them at 2 because I don't ever want to go back to that feeling of not being able to be right on my toes.
Wonderful story. Thank you. I've got one more person I got to bring on, Christina. Thank you so much for sharing that. By the way, real quickly, when you tell your friends about this, what do they say?
Well, that's usually, yeah. They're a little skeptical. They turn their nose up at it, but I will never stop taking them as long as I can because they've helped me.
They can wait 1 week to go to the bathroom and turn their nose up all they want. I guess it's their choice, but this is another example of what this material can do. Thank you, Christina. You be well.
Yeah,
take care.
You. Yeah,
thank you.
All righty. Okay. Next up and last up tonight, and maybe next time we can get Amy on from the UK. We hope so.
She's so upset.
Well, we appreciate you getting up, Amy. Something's wrong with the phones. We'll have to figure it out. Billy is with us now, so tell us about Billy, Allison. Let's get him in here while we've got time.
Billy was lacking in energy, and he'd never heard of this cricket protein before, and he is one of my biggest supporters now.
All right. Billy, hello. Welcome to the program. Are you there, Billy?
I'm here.
Let's see. There he is. We got you. Yeah, there you are. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I feel special.
You are special. How did you find out about cricket capsules?
Well, I suffer from a condition called fat and 40, and that's what I'm suffering from in life. But in all transparency, I was introduced to Allison through mutual on a professional level, and I helped her out with some graphic design, things like that. But
sure. I
was very skeptical because I'm like, I'm not going to have crickets. There's just no way. But then she gave me a bottle of cricket pills, and then it became after a week and a half, I went from being very lethargic and having a tough time just getting through each day, and then having a ton of energy. And so I was like, something weird is happening. And so then after a week and a half, that energy level kind of plateaued. So the first week and a half, I felt a little bit high. And so then...
really? Hold on. You had that much energy that you...
Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
That big of a transformation. Yeah. So I felt completely jacked on crickets, which was interesting. And so I was telling everybody... I'm telling everybody I know, and my wife starts taking them. My kids, I have at that time she was a 16-year-old daughter who was started to take them before school, and so then we were all set. And then once we ran out of them, I went about 2 months without ordering any more from Allison, and my energy level just sank right back down. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to get more. So once I got the crickets, and then I started drinking the shakes, and then now it's to the point where whenever I'm making myself a shake, my daughter hears the blender, and she's like, she actually calls dibs on the shake I'm making because she loves them. So
that's cute.
It's become kind of just a part of our routine, and keeps all of us kind of the pep in our step. And we're you're at that age where your body starts changing, right? Like age of 40, you start feeling things differently, and you know, to start getting that energy back and kind of take a better control of our path has been really awesome.
That's really interesting. So I mean, this is a dramatic, for you, a dramatic change in your energy level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I just finished working a job 4 hours away from home, and I popped a handful of crickets on my drive back, and so I'm actually on the road now, getting back home. But I drive a lot, and so I'm always, instead of like energy shots or instead of a Monster or anything like that, I will take a handful of crickets, and that gets me from point A to point B.
Cricket capsules. Okay.
Yes, capsules. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah. All right. I thought you had a bag of crickets there, and you just reached over and had a few. All right. Well, that's okay. That would work. That would work too. Now, so you're driving right now. You're alert. Yep. You feel good. No drowsiness. You mentioned energy drinks. We've got just another minute or so. Those things are, to me, potentially fatal. Some of them are awful. Yeah. What was your experience with those compared to the energy you have now? What's the difference in energy quality?
Totally. There's a big difference in that those energy drinks will spike you up and then you crash, typically. And so, like, especially on a long drive early in the morning, I'll have a shake, and that will get me through about a 3 or 4 hour drive without even having coffee. So, like, that's just kind of, it gets me at a plateau. It's not like a hyper energy, but it's more of like you're alert and you're ready to just focus on the road, and you just get through it without the blinks. I'm a terrible long distance driver, and I used to rely on a lot of caffeine, but now I don't. So it's pretty awesome.
Did you call it the blinks?
Yes, I get the blinks.
You get the blinks. You try and wake yourself up by blinking a little bit more than you usually do. I've done that.
I would actually nod off and almost fall asleep. But
no. All right, no more nodding. Billy, thank you for taking time, and keep your eyes on the road and have a safe trip. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Billy.
All right. What nice people.
I know.
Allison.
I know. And Amy is so upset you couldn't get a hold of her. She stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning. She was so excited.
Well, we'll get her on.
She had a good story, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll do it. All right. So, paradoxprotein.com. Look for the very attractive banner on Rense.com. Click on it. Go do your research. What could be easier than capsules? And keep in mind that the crickets are raised in the most scientifically clean, pure environment you can get. No MSG, no garbage, no natural any flavoring, none of that garbage. This is really nature direct to you. It's very simple. Very simple. Congratulations, Allison, to you and Michael for really sticking your necks out on this and going in an area that no one has really gone before much. And I think this is going to be a phenomenal success over time.
Yes, we've got a lot of good stuff coming up where we're just going through the process right now to be organically certified. And
wonderful.
Made it 100% in the USA.
You bet.